Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Pivot of Hearts. We are on our way to a concert. So, it's been a few years since I've been to a concert. I guess you could say I'm not compatible with crowds and super loud music, as you have previously witnessed. I'm not the tallest guy either, so visibility is also an issue. That said, I do get the appeal of seeing your heroes in the flesh and the fleeting sensation of the music that exists only at that moment being hit directly by the sound waves. I fidget with my phone on the metro platform as I wait for Barbara. Showing up alone at the venue is a little beyond me, even if Etsuko and Sigurd are already there. Before I can get more caught up in my nervousness, a cheery voice calls out, "Lally ho!" She skips right out of the train waving her arm. Yo, you're looking like a normie. Didn't you have anything with spikes or leather? Oh, yeah, of course, silly me. Let me just go get my collar and harness. You're no fun. You could at least put on some guy liner. Get on with the times when... What even is that? Never mind. She strides towards the gate of the station. Come on, you're gonna be late. I was the one waiting for her. Take a deep breath and follow Barbara, who seems to know the way even without checking any maps. Guess it's not her first time going to a show there. After a few blocks and turns, Barbara guides me into a dark gallery, at the end of which there's a bright neon sign that says Mitsuki Fish Shop. Here we are! She goes through the motions casually, greeting the girl at the reception like an old friend, and I silently follow suit. As the name implies, this space really does function as a fish market most of the time. The walls covered in light blue tiles and the lingering smell of fish are constant reminders of this, despite the colorful party lights and the sound systems set up around the makeshift stage. To my relief, and perhaps to Zero Absolute's disappointment, there isn't really much of a crowd. Everyone there looks like they're in their element, though. Even an old lady in a leather jacket who's cheerfully sipping a drink at the bar. Ah, our loyal fans have arrived. Hey guys, there you are. Wait, no. What am I doing wrong? I don't want either. Bah! Etsuko and Sigurd approach us. Hey! How are you guys doing? Zero Absoluto is ready to destroy. He throws his long platinum hair over his shoulder. He means we're doing good. Sigurd is always pumped after Metal Oba greets us. Etsuko waves at the old lady at the bar. Oh, is she your grandma? It's nice that she supports the band. No, not at all. Metal Oba is a regular metalhead, a real veteran of the scene, and thankfully she has taken a liking to our sound. She is a wise sage, and as per her wishes, I will be going all out tonight. We always go all out. You sure do. I wonder how this all started. How did you guys start this band? While studying the ancient tongue, we found some common ground. We were in the same Latin class. From the moment on, I knew it was our destiny to fulfill the prophecy. We were assigned to do a group project together. We conquered countless challenges, and even when it seemed hopeless, we managed to make it through with our bonds of steel. And we got a passing grade, even though we had to pull a couple of all-nighters. I think we became pretty good friends then. I'm no stranger to all-nighters. I see. Tough group projects like that will really strengthen the bond, huh? By the way, Sigurd, you're already sounding like a true medieval bard. Be it the world of power metal or RPG, getting a character is essential. You guys better prepare yourself for our next session. Don't go easy on me just because I'm a beginner game master. You're gonna wish you hadn't said that, Sig. Eh? Etsuko chuckles as Sigurd looks truly worried. Hearing Etsuko's laughter so many times these last few weeks makes me feel like we never stopped hanging out, despite the 10-year leap in time. I can't help but smile as well. In the corner of my eye, I notice Barbara glancing back and forth between Etsuko and myself, a grin spreading across her face. Somehow that makes me sweat a little. Sigurd! Isn't that the Scarecrow Killer's vocalist? Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan! Introduce me! You know her, right? Of course, I know her from way back when. Before Sigurd can even finish the sentence, Barbara is dragging him towards a mohawk-sporting girl. Etsuko and I are left alone. When are you guys up? We still have a little while before we have to go set up. I might as well have a drink before it's time. Want anything from the bar? Nah, I'm good, thanks. I'm not gonna risk drinking and embarrassing myself this time around. Flashes of my own recent musical performance at the karaoke bar go through my mind and my admiration for her grows. Compared to high school, Etsuko seems much more at ease before a concert. You don't look nervous at all. As she speaks, Etsuko attempts to snap open the can in her hands, failing a couple times as her short nails slip from the pull tab. Is that how it seems? I'm trying to keep it cool, but... Before Etsuko can finish her sentence, the lid finally comes off her drink and its contents gush out without warning. Oh, crap! Etsuko stares hollowly at the can fizzing out in her hand, dripping onto the floor. What a mess! I got it. Don't worry. I snatch a few napkins from a nearby table and offer them to Etsuko, taking a drink from her hand so she can dry herself off. As she does so, I take the opportunity to kneel down and quickly dry the small puddle with another handful of napkins. There we go. I look up to her to see an unexpectedly timid expression I hadn't seen in years. Almost fooled you. I guess I'm still nervous after all. To be honest, my heart is racing. I get back up to eye level, taking the damp napkins from her hands and balling them up along with the ones I ideas. I quickly toss them away. We've been doing this for quite a while, playing together as Zero Absoluto, but this is our first concert since I got back from my time abroad. Even though we rehearsed a lot, who knows if we'll all be on the same page when it's the real deal. Abroad? First time I've heard of this, so Etsuko was out of the country and I didn't even know? Goes to show how we disconnected completely in the past years. It's a bitter thought, but I shake it off and focus on the matter at hand. Etsuko is standing in front of me here and now. This time I won't run off. Even if there's just a few people who came to see us here, I can't let them down. We owe it to the audience to... Etsuko stiffens suddenly, as if she's noticed she dropped her guard in front of an enemy. Oops, I guess I'm rambling now. My bad. No, it's okay. Keep going. Etsuko hesitates, but finally speaks again. It's been a while since I got on stage. I keep thinking, how did I do this? Was it always this hard? Our bass player is the chill one, but she isn't here yet. My hands are shaking a little. Even though she seemed to laugh without a care moments ago, her smile is a bit strained as she stares at her palms. Caught up in the deja vu, I leap 10 years back in time and reach for her hands. They're cold and a bit unstable, and also calloused just below the base of her fingers. It's palpable how much effort she's put into this, and I get slightly lost in the soft and rough unevenness of her palms. They're not the same as they were back then, and that thought suddenly jolts me back to reality. My mind catches up to my body, and I can't look her in the eyes, but can't seem to let go of her hands either, so I start babbling. It'll be fine. I can see how much you've practiced, and I think you're really awesome for putting yourself out there, even though it's nerve-wracking. And, you won't let anyone down. No matter what, you'll reach the audience, just like in that talent show back then. You finally manage to face her, and she stares blankly for a couple seconds before chuckling once again. Thank you. I realize now that my hands are sweating, and I let go of her. Sorry, that was, No, my hands were really cold, and now they're all warmed up, and I'm not shaking anymore either. I think maybe I transferred a bit of my nervousness to you, so... She grins at my flushed face. Thanks for that one. I suddenly realized that up until this point, Etsuko's been calling me by my first name, Andre. She used to call me like that before we became friends. Hearing the name Wen in her voice after so long makes a warm feeling blossom in my chest. I'm a bottomless pit of nerves, so I'm available anytime. might take you up on that again. But really, I do feel better now. I mean, I've improved since high school, but that talent show was a good reminder. It's never easy and the adrenaline is part of it. And I'm excited. Six said he'll try something new tonight. Really? Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Etsuko! Base is here! Sigurd and Barbara suddenly appear, followed by a massive person wearing sunglasses. Oh, great! I was getting worried! Actually, she was already here, getting some stuff set up backstage. Ah, thanks, Base. No problem. Lynn, Barbara, this is our bass player. Nice to meet you, Base? Yeah. She shakes my hand firmly. Is that your name? Barbara's eyes sparkle. I've heard so much about you! You're even stronger than they say! Thanks. Wasn't that friend of yours going to come too, Bess? Got caught up in some work. Oh, that's too bad. I was hoping he could come. Guys, isn't it almost time? Itsuko glances at her watch. You're right! Let's go! Good luck. You're gonna do great. When you're supposed to say break a leg! Zuko chuckles once again and scurries away with the rest of Zero Absoluto. Okay, Romeo, let's get a good spot. Bro. She grabs my wrist and drags me towards the stage. Doesn't take as much effort to get a good spot. After all, the venue isn't particularly full. Perfect! This way we can be really close to the band. We're in the splash zone! This is an ocean world. Where are we gonna get splashed with? Sweat? Yeah, and emotion! That's a good thing. When you're silly. Guess you'd rather be at the base of a tower just admiring your beloved from afar? What? The microphone interference squeaks through the venue, making everyone flinch. Brave warriors who have made your way here tonight, and the battle begins now. Hope you brought your jackets because we're Zero Absoluto. Yeah! I get the joke, but it's actually kind of warm in here now. Sigurd is right on the center of the stage, his flashy guitar hanging from his shoulders as he dramatically grips the mic stand. Bass is holding, well, her bass guitar, with the same unreadable expression from earlier. Itsuko's eyes are fixed on her drum set. She looks deadly serious. Closing her eyes for a second, she takes a deep breath and brings her drumsticks together for the countdown. They start with a bang, attacking our senses with intense riffs right off the bat. I can't fully grasp the melody or the narrative right away, but something about it feels nostalgic. The sounds sure are powerful, but a few verses and something about it feels disjointed. Is this what power metal is supposed to be like? On one hand, Sigurd is looking like he might catch on fire at any moment, gasping between verses as he sings with over-the-top energy. On the other hand, bass and icy presence appears completely unaffected even as her fingers travel at top speed all over her instrument. Then there's Itsuko, who seems to be going into overdrive, desperately trying to bring them together to make a concise sound. I mean, I'm no expert, but that's what it feels like. She hits the drums energetically, but every few seconds she steals glances at her two partners who seem to be in different zones, and distress seems to permeate the combination of their sounds. Damn, it must be really hard to set a tempo connecting everyone with this much craziness going on. Chorus comes by and a fist grazes behind me. It's a metal oba, pumping her fist in the air in sync with Atsuko's beat. I immediately feel compelled to join her even if I don't know the song, and Barbara helps spread the movement. The fist pumping catches on a significant portion of the audience, and at the same time, a more confident smile spreads across Itsuko's face. Taken in by the crowd's reaction, Sigurd and bass seem to have settled on the same tempo, and Zero Absoluto is in total sync. With renewed enthusiasm, Itsuko's drumming becomes more powerful. Sigurd lets out a scream in a tone of voice I did not at all expect to come out of his body, and lifts his hands in the air as Itsuko thunders into a solo. Crap, that's really freaking fast! I can barely see her hands in the blur of drumsticks and quivering cymbals. She's so in the zone, nothing can stop her now. Imagine Sigurd backing up with a mischievous shine in his eyes as he prepares to... No way, is he going to... Everything happens in slow motion. Sigurd takes leaping steps toward the edge of the mother stage. Even Base's eyes widen as he simply jumps off. The audience was getting into it, sure, with the fist pumping and everything, but there were hardly enough people for a successful stage dive. Sigurd, however, doesn't seem to care at all. I'm horrified as I watch his long legs fly over our heads and the fearful audience members back away, except for one very loyal metal Oba, whom I managed to grab and pull away from the epicenter of the disaster before it happens. I have no idea what's going through Sigurd's mind as his fall gets closer and closer. But somehow he changes plans in mid-air and lands, albeit painfully, I guess. It's on his feet, dramatic pose included. Despite the surprise, Atsuko carries on with her solo and manages to grab everyone's focus. Sigurd takes the opportunity to quickly crawl his way back on the stage in time to join the band for the final verses. It's amazing how he still has the heart and lungs to sing his final words, but bringing the number to its end. This roller coaster of a show gets the applause it deserves, as well as enthusiastic whistles from their oldest fan, who doesn't seem to care about her near-death experience. Itsuko wipes the sweat off her brow and exchanges relieved glances at her mates. She turns this way and waves at us. Concerts really do get the adrenaline going, huh? My heart won't calm down at all. Finish the first chapter. Ripples in the water. I'm making my way up those familiar steps. There seem to be way more of them than I remember, but it doesn't matter. The certainty that she will be waiting behind that door, the promise of a cloudless sky, the sequence of yesterday's idle conversations, it all compels me forward. I reach for the door handle. Who could it be? Hello? Help me! There's some weird interference, but I immediately recognize the voice. Where are you? I do a 180 and start scrambling down the staircase. Hurry! I'm waiting at the place we promised. The place we promised? It has to be there. The place we spent the most time together working on that project. I almost slip as I make my way down the steps, which are wet for some reason. Is there a leak in the ceiling? I reach the ground floor and realize the entire place is flooded and the water level is rising. Is there a burst pipe? With the water up to my knees, I splash through the hallways towards the exit of the school. Crap, is the whole city like this? Where's all the water coming from? The school gates take me directly to the ramps of the cultural center. I don't remember it being this convenient. What isn't convenient is the fact that the library is basically in the basement of this huge building. By the time I reach it, the water level is past my waist. Where are you? I'm wading through the shelves, and this indoor ocean is starting to become tempestuous. Waves are crashing onto me and making advancing nearly impossible. Shit, what if she's drowning? I'm pretty sure she doesn't know how to swim. Well, I'm no expert either. But I have to find her now. Reach my phone, which is miraculously still working, and return the latest incoming call. Mom, pick up! No one answers. Call continues ringing. I recognize a familiar melody echoing not too far away. Swimming with a single arm while holding the phone to my ear is quite a challenge, but I fight on and paddle towards the source of the music. In the farthest, darkest corner of the library, I finally spot her. Her back is facing me as she stands before a huge ice cocoon. The water gets colder and colder as I approach her. Nina! She glances at her ringing cell phone, then slowly turns toward me with a pained smile. You're late. I'm sorry, I came as fast as I could. We need to get out of here. Crack. Fissure spreads across the surface of the mysterious ice cocoon. I'm suddenly very aware of its true nature. It's a frozen queen slime, which I barely managed to trap last time. She seems pretty close to freeing herself. Nina, however, remains motionless. I'm tired. Tentacles emerge from the ice and encircle her. Even so, she doesn't move. I rush towards her with all my strength, getting scratched and cut by ice crystals forming all around the queen. As soon as she is within my reach, I wrap my arms around her and attempt to pull her away from the cocoon. Ouch! Shit, this tug of war with the Queen Slime's tentacles is obviously hurting her. And the clammy limbs are now wrapping around me as well. I glance around trying to think of a way out of this mess, and a silhouette catches my eye. Luna? This would be a good moment to transform into a magical boy again and save the day. Luna, I need one of those cards of yours! Andre? When I think of it, this is a little insane. There's no way Nina would just roll with it or wrap her head around that magical boy getup. She'd find it ridiculous. More than that, I'm sure she'd be disgusted. I'm supposed to be her knight in shining armor. No matter what, at the very least, I have to protect the image she has of me. Who were you talking to? No one. There's no one else, just you. Nina is slowly being dragged into the cocoon as Queen Slime frees herself, as if they are switching places. As I hold her, I'm also pulled in. Finally, her arms wrap around me gently as well. She seems conformed, or perhaps even willing to stay trapped here. Yes, she seems at peace. I stop resisting and let myself be taken in. If this is what she needs, then so be it. A voice in the back of my mind tells me that letting the Queen Slime run free will be dangerous, but the priority is staying with Nina. The water level keeps rising, and we are completely submerged. I close my eyes and accept my fate, hugging Nina tightly. This is the right choice. Something feels off. I open my eyes, she's nowhere to be seen, as if she melted away like ice. I'm alone. It's dark, I can't breathe. I wake up tangled in my sheets, drenched in cold sweat. A chilly breeze flows in through the window I forgot to close, and I shiver. The obvious thing to do is get up, close the window, take a shower, and face the day. Instead, I lie in bed in a daze. As the minutes pass, it seems harder and harder to move. Come on, Wen. Get up. My body feels heavy and refuses to obey. My heart skips a beat at the message alert, but that finally brings me out of my stupor. At least enough to look at the screen. Morning! Thanks for coming to the show, Wen. Hope you're still alive for today's session. I guess I still am. Before I can barely recover from last night's concert and the disturbing dream that followed it, it's already Saturday afternoon, which means it's time for our next RPG session. The fact that I get to talk and see Asuko and my friends 2 days in a row somehow manages to draw from a reserve of energy I didn't even know I had. I'm here! Let's get the show on the road. Thump. Thump? Feeling my foot hit something, I hesitantly looked downwards. What are you doing there, Barbara? She's just laying there on the floor, maybe unconscious. Hey, Barbara, are you okay? I crouch and start shaking her. Hey! Her eyes are closed, lights completely out. Barbara! Wait, she's fine, she's just sleeping. Huh? Check my surroundings for the source of the voice, but I'm too desperate to find it. Instead, I turn back to Barbara only to hear, just 5 more minutes. This little. Hey, you are here! Atsuka! Where'd she come from? Was she already here? She stayed late preparing for the session after the show. Just give her a few minutes. I'm making some coffee! Whoa, don't just stand up with me beside. Sniff, sniff. Hey, listen to me! She just darts to the kitchen. I knew that would wake her up. God damn it, Barbara! That scared the hell out of me! Yeah, I heard it. You sounded pretty desperate. Oh, come on! I found her knocked out on the floor. What else was I supposed to assume? No, I'm not making fun of you. It actually reminded me of how serious and caring you are, you know? Eh? Me? Damn, how can my heart not skip a couple of beats when she says that with such a sweet smile? I mean, that is, you arrived here quite early, didn't you? Basic maneuvers, engage. Actually, we spent the night here. I see. Wait, we? Oh, what is this ruckus? Ah, that's the we part. So what's now? Oh, it's Sir Wen. You are finally here. I mean, finally! I arrived right on time. It's you guys who had an unfair advantage. Relax, Wen. You didn't miss anything fun. We crashed immediately after arriving, while Barbara went on to prepare the session. Right, gods, I love performing, but after a show, all I want to do is crawl back into the darkness. Really? Okay, there's just noises outside. Oh, makes sense. What are you all waiting for? Barbara comes back shouting with a mug of coffee on her hand. Let's get this show on the road! I said it first, you know. Also, you were the one sleeping until 5 minutes ago. Yeah, that's the way to go. Wen, good to see you are in high spirits. Why do I feel like I'm already spending all my energy before the session even begun? Alright, to you. Let's begin by reviewing what happened last time. You got into a bar fight, then you met Commander Rexus. She's cool and badass, and she gave you a job. Locate Arbok Kingdom's informants who infiltrated the Burmos Empire and retrieve the intel they uncovered. We begin our session today with the three of you setting out from the Arbok capital. It's been the first chunk of the session preparing our gear for the journey. Tigger gets quickly overwhelmed by the several spells and items he can choose to take with him, but we chime in to help smooth things out. Not long after, Barbara starts narrating our travel to the Burmos Empire, the nation suspiciously interested in the land of our kingdom's old ally, House Klant. You set out towards the east, hiking past the rolling farmlands that surround the capital. This is one of my favorite parts. Barbara's really good at setting the tone, and her descriptions of the landscapes and people are the meat of it. Though we don't do much while she describes what our characters see, hear, and smell, it helps us understand what they feel and think. Since we were still close to the capital, the first day of the trip was mostly uneventful save for the waiting signs of civilization. After crossing a large bridge, we were finally in the open wilderness. A distant dark strip in the southeastern horizon reveals the Terramin Woods. Aha, that is where I shall sate my craving for adventure. For the Arbok Kingdom, I'm pretty sure it'll be night when we arrive, and I'd rather not trek through an untamed forest in the dark. Attaboy, Wen! Keep that grumpiness coming! Yeah, this is Terramin Woods you saw on the Commander Rexus' map. It's the most direct route to the Burmos Empire, making it a natural border for it. The Arbok Kingdom to the west, the House Klant to the south. Should take 1 or 2 days across if you don't wander too much. Which is why we shouldn't be too hasty. Aww. Indeed, when we are close enough to peer into the woods, there's not enough light to see anything in there anymore. Barbara uses the opportunity to explain how resting works and why it's important in RPGs like Castles and Champions. Managing your resources is what keeps options on the table, and you really don't want to be cornered when Barbara is behind the Game Master screen. We broke camp at First Light and finally ventured into the forest. The Burmos Empire is right beyond these woods. My objective? Vengeance against the one who set me up is close at hand. As soon as we finish the business Commander Rex has sent us there to do, I'll ask around for that person. Well, let's cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, the important thing is to come out of this forest in one piece. Now we are talking. This is what an adventure should be like. Dear Sigurd, please do walk behind me so I can take the brunt of the risk in case anything happens. Oh, I appreciate that. My tunes can bewilder anything that breathes. Alas, they still cannot protect me from a cold blade or a sharp fang. It's a shame none of us is particularly good at navigating trackless forests, but at least this way we are prepared for whatever comes our way. After walking for the first half of the day, you come to a halt. To the south, a large flock of birds takes flight suddenly, clearly distressed. That can't be good. Finally, the time has come to weave my tail. Do we hear anything coming from the direction the birds flew from, besides the birds themselves? Not at first. As you move tighter together in anticipation for any danger, you hear a subtle, low noise rising from the south, followed by a slight and slowly increasing tremor on the ground. That sounds like a worryingly big creature. A dragon. I knew it. Sure hope not. Barbara wouldn't. Would she? Hey, stay in character! I'll take that as meaning you spend those first few moments trying to make out what the sound comes from. The sound of dice hitting the table, then rolling for several inches, fills the room like the grinding of the wheels of fate. Wexian, used to looking out for danger, manages to discern the nature of the low, vibrating noise. It's a stampede. Of what? You have no idea. Alright, trying to outrun that is definitely not going to work. Instead, quick, we have to put something between us and whatever's rushing here from the south. Over there. Let's duck behind that fallen tree. Right away. As soon as you curl up and press yourselves against the forest ground and the dead, fallen trunk, the noise takes a clearer shape. Turns into a rumble, then a chaotic drum, then into a raging storm. The sounds of crushed wood, crumpled leaves, and creaking trees adds to the soundscape on the other side of your cover. You almost feel like your vision is shaking from the sheer force of the stomping. So suddenly, the storm is upon you. Bracing yourselves as much as possible, you alternate between closing your eyes to accept your doom and squinting just enough to glimpse at your final moments. One of the creatures laying stampede leaps over you and time freezes as it makes its first impression on your eyes. It is bark-shaded and four-legged, with a very short fur and the size of a large dog, much shorter legs and chunkier build. Though you can't make out its face, you can feel its weight as its robust body lands just to dash forward immediately after. In an instant, what was a single leaping creature becomes several dozens, hundreds of chonky beasts passing like comets over your heads. At this point, you were completely deafened by this strontious stampede, barely managed to keep your eyes steadily open. Little by little, as uncountable specimens run by in front of you, you make out more details of their anatomy. They have very round bodies with short fur and a large but short snout decorated with a small pitch-black eyes on top of it. Capybara-ish. What draws your attention the most are the moss-like patches and spikes coming out from several places in their torsos. So they're like capybaras, but with moss and spikes. Particularly large and angry capybaras, but yeah, something like that. You are still cowering behind that trunk for several minutes until the stampede slows down. Soon enough, the bulk of the creatures is long gone and only a few stragglers keep hopping over you until the rumbling becomes a distant sound to the north. Finally. What was that? That came from the south. That's where House Clant is. Maybe something happened? Whatever it is, I don't want to find out. Let's get the heck out of here before... Wait, what is that? Thanks to the stampede, some trees are toppled over, and you can now see further away in the direction that they came from and rushed to. Half a mile north, you make out the silhouette of a stone structure hiding behind the logs and leaves of the forest. The building seems to rise above the canopy, and its shape suggests a temple of some kind? Okay, I really need a drink. Oh gosh. I am not sure if I'm shaking because my body still thinks we're in the middle of the stampede, or if it's anticipation for exploring whatever that is. Now hold your horses. It's definitely not part of our job and quite out of the way. Lexington's got a good point. It might be risky, and getting out in one piece will probably cost us spells and items. That said, I can't help being curious about what's in there. Come on, Wexian, it's right over there. It shouldn't take us long. Nothing bad is gonna happen. Even though I chose the role of cynical strategist for this campaign, I have to admit the temple has piqued my curiosity. On the other hand, Barbara loves dangling shiny baits in front of us, only to corner us later on. Look for clues in her expression, but it's futile. Her poker face is unreadable. In that case, the question here is whether I'm ready or not to push forward into whatever unpredictable side plots Barbara has in store for us. I can't do it! I don't have diamond. I haven't got any diamonds. Carry on with our journey. Nah, Barbara's clearly trying to lure us. I don't buy it. Aww. We can check it out on the way back. Don't worry. Deciding to save our reserves for the meat of the adventure, we carry on through Terramin Woods. I do wonder, though. Barbara wouldn't just throw that stampede at us for no reason. Those plant capybaras will definitely come up again at some point. I better keep what happened here in mind. Maybe the Burmos Empire is behind this? Guess we'll find out next time. Look up from my character sheet, suddenly brought back to reality by this strange noise. Sounds like a dangerous creature. Better roll perception. A die hits me right on the forehead. Ouch! Receive that! The game master's getting hungry. We better wrap this up before she takes it out on the party. Time really flew by, huh? Onionitos aren't enough to get us through this journey. She pats the bag, making sure it's empty. Especially with Wen around, he just inhaled the whole bag in 5 seconds. That really was quite a feat. Sorry, I'll bring more snacks next time. Should we order a pizza for now? We've been cooped up here all day. Maybe we should just go out for a change of pace. I'm in. Where are we going then? Stretches his limbs, unaccustomed to sitting still for so long. How about some burgers? The other day I went to a place that's nearby that's pretty good. Alright, let's go! Rubber gets up, unbothered by the dice and papers and pens scattered on the table, and skips towards the door. I at least gather up the character sheets and pick up the die that was thrown at me before following suit. However, I'm intercepted by Luna, who carelessly rubs against my calves before sprinting away. Guess she likes me a bit better now? Are you going to turn me into a magical boy? Whisper pensively, but Barbara rushes me further. Come on, man! Zuko was holding the elevator door for me and I stepped inside.